feel so much better, let me just tell you. It was a good nap. I didn't sleep this whole time since then, obviously. But holy fucking shit, I was so tired. That's gonna be really funny to edit later. I want to start making some clips, like shorts, for shorts and like regular videos. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Let's go here for a second. Oh, look at my hair. I recently traveled domestically, and I think I said something about it, but I just found out there's a new COVID variant. I mean, there's new variants all the time. That's a normal thing with viruses, obviously, but like, it's kind of got me worried because I've been kind of getting some weird symptoms. But it could just be, I don't know. They're calling it razor blade throat. And I've been needing to drink a lot more water lately, I'll definitely say that. Glad I got the audio situation kind of figured out. I feel like, unless OBS decided to be like, hey, here's some just settings you didn't have last time. Is that cool? Oh, let's, yeah, not that. Wait. Okay. My headphones are kind of scaring me right now. I've got a schedule for like all the different stuff I do, and I've been like a day behind schedule, so I'm kind of not surprised that I'm this tired. I was just like, yeah, Wednesday's my off day, and then it's just like, let me just cram a bunch of streams that I didn't like, or just really long streams, longer than I've gone before on YouTube, and I'm fucking reading, so I should really probably drink some tea with some honey later. That's what I'll do afterwards, and then I'll take a nice hot shower, and I'll feel great. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm gonna get back on track with my schedule tomorrow. Man, I love having short hair, but in its own way, it can be really frustrating. But I need to get it trimmed, actually. It's just like too much. Anyways, Higurashi. So, man, I don't even remember what happened. Okay, that'll probably get all of the things. Hold please. Let me like refresh what actually happened. Turn off desktop audio. Okay, so Reyna's following with the axe. Oh no. I didn't even like look at my camera. The camera was so blown out. Anyways, because it was daylight. Blah blah blah. Transfer. Okay, so Oishiro-sama exists. He really, really does exist. He really, really does. Okay, he thinks back to when Oishi tells him about the 3 boys that Rina hurt. Nobody said anything. God, I have no memory of this. I mean, I do, but Jesus Christ. I mean, like, so I'm not in silence. She's talking to the nurse. How do you... There we go. Oh my god. This is when I started to get tired. It was kind of boring, I'm gonna be honest. Okay. just stopped here.
As a matter of fact, soon afterwards, they did move back to Hinamizawa after all. Those who abandoned Hinamizawa and left were cursed. But then why only Reina? Shouldn't Reina's parents also have been guilty of the same transgression by moving away
Right?
from
Is it?
Also, in this day and age in Japan, shouldn't there be a lot of people coming and going? If every single one of them is cursed, then it would be insane. The artwork is pretty interesting.
The what?
Pretty interesting. The artwork is pretty interesting. You just crack every bone in your body.
Dude, I did not watch this back all the way.
I really want to finish this chapter, but I'm starting to get kind of tired.
Kind of.
Also, in this day and age in Japan, shouldn't there be a lot of people coming and going? If every single one of them was cursed, then it'd be insane. But in reality, it wasn't that big of a deal at all. At most, there would be one person dying and one person disappearing on the day of the Higurashi. I don't like saying at most, though. Well, anyways, there's still a lot I don't know.
Okay.
You would accept people were cowering because they believed that terrible curse had befallen them, do you? But more important, the connection that Reina made between them went missing. I have recently learned that Satoshi had also become... And the weapons she used at the time were of...
Jesus Christ.
Again, a metal bat.
I can't even fucking see you.
Only me. I've been encountered on various things that were inexplicable, and now I was holding on to a metal bat.
Okay. Can I like go back in this so I'm not just no? Oh, great. Okay, cool. This is embarrassing.
And that Satoshi did the same thing. Wait, the same thing happened to Reina?
Okay.
Case. That being, Satoshi went missing after falling victim to the curse.
Reina was still there. Met with different endings. Couldn't call it a coincidence anymore. Reina, Satoshi, and finally me. Could it be that I was really under Oishiro-sama's curse right now? No, more importantly than that, what should I do now? Satoshi had been demoned away, vanishing without a trace. Reina was fine. Fine? Reina had undergone a change. I could only believe that there was something that wasn't Reina residing within her. Okay. And here right now it was standing before me. Keiichi's also going crazy right now, so like in a similar way where he's lashing out. So it seems to be that people with Oishiro-sama's curse go into like this hysteria. Kind of like Tomitake, the way he clawed his throat out. That makes sense. People just engaging in suicidal and violent behavior. Okay, so Reina had undergone a change. I could only believe that there was something that wasn't Reina residing within her, and here right now it was standing before me. Reina, please tell me. Oh wait, let me make sure. Where's my live? Oh my god, no. Let's just do this for a second. Am I not already? Okay. Okay, so it is cropped, so... Okay, let's just do this. Reina, please tell me, what will happen to me? Reina stood imposingly, not answering. Satoshi disappeared, but Reina didn't disappear. So, what will happen to me? Oh, that was Keiichi. Satoshi disappeared, but Reina doesn't disappear. So, what will happen to me? I'd never heard such an unpleasant laugh before. Not maniacal laughing at midnight. It had become akin to the sound of her breathing. It was no longer a voice or an expression of feeling. Don't worry, I'll save you. Reina took one step forward, still holding the axe high above her head. Now then. One step closer, Reina's face spread out to fill my vision. Speak. One step closer. Reina's nose was close enough to touch mine and was still pushing closer. There's something you want to say, isn't there? I'll listen. I'll save you, okay? Speak, okay? Speak, okay? The fuck? I slumped down, landing squarely on my butt. It wasn't for some pathetic reason. It was all I could do to get as far away from Reina. She goes on for a while. I had the gut feeling that I couldn't let her laughter end, because when that laughing ended, the moment I picked up on that feeling, my body moved by instinct. I sprang to my feet so fast I couldn't believe it, and pushed Reina away with both hands. Reina was as light as a feather. Thrown about by the unbalanced weight of the axe, she was sent backwards as if she had been carried off by the wind. After confirming that out of the corner of my eye, I dashed off at full speed. Let's check this again. Got it. Okay. That should be good. I was the perfect picture of fleeing like a greased pig. Get away from Reina. Run away. Survive. I couldn't think of anything other than this. While I was running, I remembered I'd been holding onto a bat the entire time. Such a worthless weapon. I couldn't believe I'd forgotten about this weapon at such an important time. I sped even farther down the winding path. I didn't even feel myself gasping for breath or my legs getting heavy. My body understood it as well. If I didn't run away from here, I wouldn't live. I could hear the laughter of that simulacrum of Reina coming from behind me. It rang through the trees and in my head and slowly chiseled away at my sanity. The grove of trees thinned out and my field of vision suddenly expanding. Where was this? For a moment I was bewildered by the scenery I knew but couldn't quite remember. I quickly realized it was the damn site. The fact that I dashed madly and ended up in a place like this gave me a bad feeling, like I was following someone's scripted plot. I had a good view of my surroundings, but I didn't see a single soul here. This is a terrible spot for someone on the run, but there was no better place for an attacker. My heart was already on the verge of bursting. The muscles in my legs were screaming, but I didn't care. If I stopped here, then they might not even be able to scream for much longer. Even still, I glanced back, looking for an excuse to rest. Reina wasn't there. Instead, I saw two villagers walking around. I breathed a sigh of relief that it wasn't Reina, but a third party. Except the voice inside me rang the alarm once again. Villagers walking around weren't suspicious in and of themselves, but it bothered me. They both wore rough-looking clothes. Empty-handed, they definitely gave the impression that they were just out for a walk. But at this time of day, two adults wandering around without a purpose, it was enough to raise questions. More than anything else, those eyes. They weren't chit-chatting while walking. They were both silent, heading forward, looking in my direction. Was I at the end of my rope and had finally started imagining things? I should run away. That was probably the best choice. If they weren't involved, I'd lose them easily by running. If they were part of the group after me, then they would come running after me. Either way, unless I hurried up, Reina would catch up with me. That's right, I was going to run. Deciding that, the moment I began to turn tail, both of them rushed towards me as if they knew exactly what I was thinking. Somewhere inside me, I jumped to the conclusion that Reina was the only thing I needed to be afraid of. I made the assumption that I didn't need fear for any. I didn't need fear anything else. Interesting. I think it's kind of like needn't. Like, then that would make sense, but you need to have an article with that. Anyways. But right now, I realize just how blatantly wrong I was. I will say the translation is really good for this game. But right now, I realize just how blatantly wrong I was. Suddenly, the story Oishi-san told me about the demons all leaving the village to hunt prey floated through the back of my mind. I could tell they were both coming after me without even turning around because of their frenetic footsteps. What does frenetic mean? I like finding new words. Is frenetic kind of like staccato, where it's like uneven? Fast and energetic, but also uncontrolled or frantic. Oof, that's scary. It was frightening being unable to shake Reina off as she slowly closed in on me, but this didn't even compare. Being pursued with such violent ferocity, this straightforward horror was unparalleled. One of the pursuer's arms grazed my shoulder. Now it just wasn't their frenzied footsteps, but also the distinct sound of their breathing that I could hear. No, I could practically feel them breathing on me. They were already right behind me. Calm down, Keiji Maibara. Still running at full tilt, I felt the surrounding area go still. No, it felt like time itself had stopped. I turned my head back slightly in that frozen world, realizing how close my pursuers had gotten to me. I couldn't win against the likes of an adult. In less than the time it would take to blink twice, when this frozen time began moving again, they'd be right on top of me. On top of me, and then... Don't think about that, Keiichi. First, realize that you won't be able to shake them off like this. If the fact that you can't get away was a given, then you need to make a decision. Damn it. Go with the right leg or go with the left. You just need to decide which one. Let's go with the left. The moment I decided that, the temporal singularity burst into pieces. Right, left. I swung the bat in a wide arc with my right arm. Using that inertia, I stopped and suddenly spun. What? The two of them were clearly startled. Momentarily losing sight of me, both of their outstretched arms ready to grab me instead grasped at empty space. The man on the right, I applaud him for being able to figure it out, spun around to the spot I shouldn't have been and faced me in astonishment. But it was too late. I didn't even need to swing my back. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. Sorry, this is an interesting description. So, he fucking goes like this. The man on the right spun around to the spot I shouldn't have been and faced me in astonishment, but it was too late. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. Okay. Right? It was by no means a heavy blow, but it seemed like it had enough power behind it to knock him off his feet. But just knocking him down wasn't enough space to scare him away. He got back up in no time. Both of them took a fighting stance and were ready to face me. This made me certain that they weren't just two people out for a walk. They were clearly after me. It felt much easier than dealing with Reina. Just by not recognizing their faces, by not knowing them, it made things easier. I smiled wryly on the inside. What do you want with me? Next one is going to be right in your face, you bastard. It's fine if it was just a bluff. By barking out at them, I was able to fire myself up. They didn't respond. They spread out to either side of me with unbelievably calm expressions on their faces. One of them would grab onto my bat, and the other would hold me down. Was that their plan? I really need to see, like, a... Do you think Rikishi would allow a live action? I don't know if the series is that big that it would, like... I think it has to live as a sound novel. But I could see, like really good sound design for a movie with, I don't know. Maybe that's sacrilege to say that I want a live action version of this, but it would be interesting. Or at least like some cosplay reenactment would be really cool. I could see people getting into that. Taking on both of them at once would be impossible. Hot sweat poured from every pore in my body. Then I'd just have to settle it with the first move. I'd step in and strike the first one down. Narrowing my target down to the man on the right, who had already been knocked down before, I stepped in and swung with all my might. There was no way for an unarmed person to guard against it. It would cause immense danger. Or damage. Why did I say danger? Oh my god. Do I have dyslexia? I'm starting to wonder. Fuck off, YouTube Gemini. Ew. I just had to check because I didn't want to like keep switching back and forth. If they blocked it with their arm, their bone would snap like a twig. If they turned their back to it, then it was possible that that blow would travel all the way to their vital organs. It looked like he was aware of this. He pushed farther through the kill zone between us and delivered a fist right into my gut. Not good. With this distance, in this position, and in this state, there was no way for me to dodge it. Ugh. Getting the wind knocked out of you fucking sucks. The world flipped upside down. I understood that I was being tossed around like a rag doll. I landed on the soft earth without a sound, feeling the grainy soil press against my face. Getting knocked down really... I had a fun story. A car crashed into my house when I was like 11 years old because someone had a heart attack. Really crazy. I almost didn't get up from the table where the car came through, but like the furniture like took the blow for it and like knocked me out of the way, but it still knocked me down like really quickly. It was like instant. Fun times. It didn't hurt at all. But the moment I thought that, I suddenly felt pain coming through the abrasions on my skin, as well as the contents of my stomach being forced upwards, flooding my mouth with a bitter sensation. Queen wants to come in. She likes Higurashi too. There's lots of nice stuffed animals in here to live on. Sorry, I'm busy right now. I knew very well that I didn't have the time to relish this experience. I stood up as quickly as I could, but at that moment the other man was already barreling towards me. Being able to comprehend calmly that I simply couldn't dodge it made it all the more upsetting. After plowing into my stomach full force once again, my assailant twisted around behind me and locked his thick arm around my neck. Ugh. My throat felt like it was being crushed by his immense strength. Sorry. I couldn't even contemplate that I was being strangled or that I was about to go unconscious. My vision simply darkened and a silent whining noise began playing deep inside my mind. It took everything I had to keep myself from blacking out. While this was happening, the other man was more than likely standing in front of me. I wasn't able to open my eyes, but I could feel that he was there. There was nothing I could do now. Unable to shake this arm off me, I couldn't run. I couldn't fight back. Dire straits. I couldn't even come up with the phrase that adequately described my situation. Where is he gonna wake up? I kind of know already, but... Or... I'm gonna stop guessing, because it's been a long time since I've engaged in this series. Hmm? Is that blanket there before? A familiar ceiling. The smell of the bed and pillows. I knew them well. Oh no. Keiichi's Keiichi's sacred yellow pillow that he loves the smell of. I'm gonna go ahead and share this to Twitter because I didn't already. The smell of the bed and pillows, I knew them well. Was this my room? Normally there wouldn't be anyone in my room besides me, but their presence made me spring wide awake. When I did that, pain shot throughout my entire body. Feeling alright? I think you'd better just lie down for a bit. Why was Reina in my room? Blood began to surge through my muscles and my capillaries. But Reina's smile belonged to the Reina I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way, but I was relaxed thinking that this version of Reina was safe. Why am I... Don't you remember? After losing consciousness, nothing at all. My body had become more lethargic than I could have ever imagined. I guess that would be the expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. I tried to at least clear my head, but I just couldn't shake the sluggish feeling out of my mind. I called the doctor. He should be here soon. I think you'd better just lie down until then. I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor, but knowing that someone impartial was coming was slightly reassuring. Why am I here? I'm sure I was at the dam site. That's what I want to know. What happened? When I got there, Keiichi-kun was already passed out. That's why I'm the one who wants to know. I was attacked by two weirdos. As I talked about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. Recalling that memory and the terror that went through along with it caused the fogginess around my head to clear right up. Let's forget about those two for now. I didn't expect Reina to be nursing me. I thought Reina was trying to kill me. She would have had the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health. Amazing you could drag me all the way back here. Wasn't I heavy? Looking at Reina's delicate frame, it was hard to believe she had not only got me back home, but even dragged me all the way up to the second floor. Did she have some help? Is Keiichi stupid? Don't you remember, Cage-kun? Reina appeared a bit surprised, but still kept her smile. I only propped you up on my shoulder. You said you could walk on your own and that you were fine. You don't remember? I didn't remember. My memory was fuzzy after the point where I lost consciousness. What about those two? Huh? When you got there, Reina, the ones with me, or rather, those two guys. There wasn't anyone. She said it bluntly. The way she stated it felt slightly unpleasant. She's lying. I was just too timid at that time. I might have been able to force some answers out of Reina. But if I did that, then this kind Reina might transform into the scary Reina who I didn't know. Fearing that, I didn't press any further. It's hard to tell if some of this is written in past tense or kind of present tense, but sounds like past tense. Like, is this a memory? Is all of this a memory? I'm sure it is, but like, I don't know. Thinking about it, it was the obvious choice. If both of those men were there, I don't think Reina would have even stood a chance. I couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assumed she brought me here after those two were already gone. Reina was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled. Can I not read? I want boba so bad. I'll order some tomorrow. Ooh, I've got a hot chocolate, actually. Reina was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly. Yet, I felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something. Something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face. That small omen sent shivers down my spine. It reminds me of, Misery. The way Annie Wilkes always had that, where she has this really fake smile. And, Kathy Bates did a really good job. But I also think everybody should read the book, because it's really fucking scary. And just, I fucking hate Annie. She's awful, evil, batshit insane bitch. While Reina was still Reina, I needed to make contact. I needed to contact Oishi-san. Reina stopped me when I tried to get out of bed. She said it would aggravate my wounds, so I should sleep. I'd like to go to the bathroom, though. Sorry. Reina couldn't say anything else. So lewd. While Reina stayed in the room, I quickly went downstairs to get the phone receiver in the living room. When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. Ding dong. It must have been the doctor Reina had called. It was strange for a patient to welcome in the doctor who was making a house call, but it would be incredibly reassuring to have him here for the considerable time it would take Oishi-san to get here. It looks like there's a peephole. I would be scared to open the door to just anyone. I carelessly opened the door with that simple assumption and regretted it almost instantly. Mion? Oh, you look just fine. I heard you collapsed, so I came to check up on you. How did you know I collapsed? I heard from Reina over the phone. Do I need any reason other than that? I understood why she would call a doctor. But why Mion too? Reina was descending the stairs behind me. Reina, doesn't Kei-chan look pretty alright? She made me worried for nothing. That's true. Maybe I worried for nothing as well. They both began laughing. It appeared to be cheerful laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was a darkness looming over them. Whoa, what's up with the shoe rack? How did it get like this? The shoe rack that I smashed to pieces had been like that since yesterday. I fell, you see, and the bat I was holding at the time slammed into it. This is what happens when you swing around something you're not used to handling. I kept the fact that it was none of her business to myself. But leaving it like this will really startle your parents when they get home. I'll fix it up for you later. Now, come on, Kei-chan. The terminally ill need their rest. Come back. Come, back in bed. Both of them urged me up the stairs. I had no chance to call Oishi-san. This is so creepy. I was pushed into my bed. It was the first time Mion had been in my room. She began searching around it intently. She fiddled around my room and was scolded by Reina. You can imagine how it went. It was uncomfortable having my room poked around, but the conversation was so benign that it was heartwarming. During that innocent conversation, Mion said something as though it was perfectly ordinary. Reina, did you call the manager? Yep. Right after I called Mi-chan. He said he'd be right over. That out-of-place word gave me a bad feeling. And after that, she called a manager. Who was this manager? Since Reina and Mion's conversation was so peaceful, it felt slightly odd. What are you two talking about? Who's this manager? Didn't you know, Kei-chan? We mean the manager when we say manager. I dug through all my memories for a manager who might have business with me. Only one thing came to mind. What Reina had just said, the construction site foreman, the very first victim of the first incident, the dismemberment of the damn construction site. The foreman? It sounds like she was being passive-aggressive. Like, mentioning that. But that was strange. He was supposed to be dead. There's no way they would call him. Or could call him. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. You said he was coming. Did you mean to my house? I asked one obvious question after another, but all the two of them did was smile coolly at each other. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and how my suspicions were playing out. Slowly, I felt discomfort and panic. Damn what Reina and Mion were talking about. Hear that? The manager is the manager. So who is this manager? Reina and Mion looked at each other and laughed haughtily. That disturbing cackle unpleasantly resounded around me. That laugh, long enough to be unsettling, ended abruptly. Oh, yeah, we should finish this up before the manager comes. A different story. Remember what? Keich-kun, had he forgotten, I wonder? About the penalty. Guess which one Reina made? You forgot about that homework, didn't you? But I had thrown away the rest of the mochi after I found that sewing needle, so I wasn't able to answer which one Reina made. The penalty for that?